Gita, you know how we're always talking about how I'm the planner and you always fly by the seat of your pants, and how we love working together so much because it's really the energy of both of those that makes so much of the magic happen, and how we learn and feed off
Totally.
of each other in that energy. Like, that's exactly what came up on our call today, didn't it?
Yes, yes. So we had a client who she's absolutely a planner. She's definitely somebody who needs to have the exact plan. She needs to know all the answers ahead of time. She needs to know exactly where it's going. I know Maria and I are always ribbing each other about this. I mean, I'm like, woohoo, we'll just figure it out when we get
And I'm
there.
like,
Um,
ah!
yeah, yeah, totally. So I'd be super curious if you're watching this, like, which one do you identify with? Like, who are you? Are you the planner? You like Maria? Are you like me, where you're just like, planch, man, we'll figure it out, right? And obviously, there's major pros and cons to both approaches, and the best magic happens when those two energies combine. So I'm obviously drawn to Maria because my energy wants to kind of, you know, learn some of the, like, have a little bit more structure to support my creativity. And Maria, like, how do you feel? Like, what do you feel
Yeah.
like helps
And
your?
for Exactly. For me, I wanna learn more how to be in that spontaneous energy and how to meld the 2 together in an intimate dance. And so, like, Gita's the master of just, like, being on the fly. And so I'm so attracted to that energy as well.
Yeah. So so it's interesting when a client shows up and is like, the first week she wanted to know exactly, like, she was just like, should I be doing this? Should I do that? But like, that's in week 2 and I need to do that right away. And so she was almost always like a week. She wanted to know exactly what the next step was. She wanted to prepare. And the way she would say is like, I just want to prepare so that I'll be prepared. Those were the words that she would use each time. So if those are words that kind of ring true for you, then know that you have some of this energy too. And the thing we didn't want to do, Maria, right, was to kill that planning instinct, because it's not a bad thing. And I want to be clear
Exactly.
about that. And I
Exactly.
remember
In fact,
checking
it
in
was
with you. Yeah, I remember
yeah.
checking in with you because I was like, Maria, this sounds like your energy. Like, what are you seeing? What did you see?
Exactly, exactly. And you're exactly right. Like the that planning energy can be so important and really a good scaffolding piece to then launch from. In fact, we ask our clients, one of the first things we ask our clients to do when they enter Impact with Influence is to create a 5-year vision. So it's not like planning is bad at all. It's just the way that we show up within the planning energy, because oftentimes we can hide behind a plan, and that's exactly what we found our client doing. And really, it takes one to know one, because I can hide behind a plan too.
Exactly. And it was interesting because I was like, oh, maybe she just wants more scaffolding. And Maria's like, no, 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 no. Let me tell you what's going on here. And that's what it's so nice having more than one coach on a team, because it's like we really have such a 360 and we can work with so many different types of clients. So here are the things that we discussed with this client on the call. You don't want to kill planning energy, especially if you have a lot of it and this is something that is your natural genius. Well, you were gifted with this for a reason. The last thing you want to do is try to be a fish riding a bicycle, right? If you're a fish, you got to swim. If you're a planner, you got to plan.
Yeah.
The the invitation is, what parts do you plan? Like, what are you focusing on in the planning? So the image that sort of came to me was, imagine running a marathon. A planner is, standing at the start line and wanting to know exactly what's going to go down at aid station 1, aid station 2, aid station 3, aid station 10, and then exactly what it's going to feel like and look like and need to know, like, while crossing the finish line. And if anyone has ever run a marathon, you know that it, like, freaking never goes according to plan. Doesn't matter how much you prepare, doesn't matter what training, doesn't matter how beautiful the weather, something's gonna break. That's just how it is. Or something's
Absolutely.
gonna go like wildly past your expectations and be super pleasurable that you couldn't have anticipated. Like, it goes both ways. It's not like it's always bad. Sometimes it's better than you could ever have hoped for. You
That's true.
just can't know.
Mhm.
And so, one of the things that planners need to know, that I think you can probably learn from someone like me that is more comfortable with this, is that it is okay to take the first step, even if it's the quote unquote wrong step. Because
Mm.
what happens? So, imagine this, right? Imagine you're here, and then this is the first step. what you can see, your perspective, and everything that you can see and experience in this position is different than what you would see and experience in this position,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if you get to here and you're like, oh, this didn't actually, like my goals, I just realized my goals over there, right? So this is not bringing me closer to my goal. This is kind of taking me away from my goal. Then you're like, pain, judgment, suffering, all of this stuff. On the other hand, what I have come to realize is that the universe will sometimes nudge you and put you in a quote unquote wrong place, quote unquote,
Mhm.
for a reason, but taking you kind of a little bit away from your goal because you need to see something or experience something in this position gives you a perspective you wouldn't have had if you just continued to go directly in a line towards your goal. And in fact, sometimes what you can see here can alter the goal and make it more juicy and make it more interesting. Or you can see a shortcut that you would never have seen if you had just taken the path that you had planned. Does
It
that make
is
sense?
so true. It is so, so true. In fact, we brought her to this place. In fact, Gita, you tell them about the word that you gave her in order to help her hold these two energies of being able to plan while also holding space for what is actually happening before her.
And that word, and we'd like to offer it to you, is
Mhm.
unfolding, because there is an unfolding that happens when you work from intuition. So, planning energy tends to be intellectual, it tends to want strategy, it's analytical, it is very, 1 + 1 = 2. Whereas intuition is quantum. It's like one plus
Mm.
one can equal 3,000. And there's much less obvious logic to it, but there are leaps that you can make that just transcend time and space, right? So here's the deal, we both have both. We
Mhm.
all have both. And so you don't, why would you choose to work with only one if you can just work with both? It's free, it's already yours.
Yeah.
So what unfolding allows you to do is to harness the power of both of those energies. When you so you we have a process that we teach called holding creative tension, and there's a whole step-by-step process where I talk about it in great. If you want a taste of it and you really want to learn what it's like and you're not ready to work with us in the main program, find a link around this video and you can, for 70% off, you can join for under $200 at the moment. You can join and learn these tools and try them for yourself. Don't take my word for anything. You don't need to take my word for anything. You don't have to believe me. Try it for yourself and see if it works. It will. So
Yeah.
you'll see. So, right? So like what is really powerful is when you can hold that tension and ask for guidance. You're asking your
Mm.
highest, most divine self for that guidance, and that comes through as intuition. Intuition doesn't often make logical sense, it usually doesn't, but you can feel it as a sense of deep knowingness. Now
Mhm.
sometimes that's like, right, have you ever,
Yeah.
you practice this, we practice this together, we practice this as a team. Have you ever
Absolutely.
had that,
Absolutely.
have you ever had a moment, Maria, where you've like gotten some kind of guidance and then you're sitting in that moment and you're like, I can't tell, is this my intellect talking? Is this like my lower self talking? Or is this intuition talking? Have you ever had a moment like that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, I would say that's really normal. It's not something to shy away from whatsoever. It's a very normal question to have.
What do you do in that moment?
So when I'm in those moments, it's an invitation for me to get quieter, to get even more still, and to release to the not knowing. Because it's okay if I don't know in that moment. And invariably, the answer comes. It really is okay. In fact, it's in releasing the need to know which one is it, which one is it, which one is it, which one is it, is exactly where the answer comes. How about
I
you, Gita?
love that. It's very similar. So again, my type A-ness, my achieverness really kind of pushes me to
Mhm.
have the answer. Like it's just like so ingrained in me. It's a childhood pattern of mine to like need to know. And so
Yeah.
like I have to, like I literally write it at the top of my page every time I do this exercise. I'll be like, you do not need to know, release the need to know. And so it's a self-coaching tool, and that's what we invited our clients to do, is to just like give yourself the cue so that you're going in having set the intention that there's no pressure whatsoever. And then sometimes if I have a guidance, a symbol, or an intuition or a vision or something come to me, and I'm like, I don't know, is this ego talking, is this not ego talking? It's exactly what you said. It's like I get quieter and stiller, and then I'm
Mhm.
able to check, is this a vibration coming from like my heart, Or is this a vibration coming from like, I need to do, I need to do, need to know, need to know, need to know. Like I can usually tell the frequency. Is this like a deep resonant frequency? Or is this like a
Mhm.
high chirpy kind of in my face kind of frequency?
Yeah.
And again, sometimes you won't know. Like there'll be that 20% of the time where you're just kind of messed up, you're tired, you're overwhelmed, whatever, you're just not in your body, it's fine. You still need to figure out, what do I do? In that situation, take the step that is suggested. Your perspective will be altered. The altered perspective is the point. That
Yeah.
is what the unfolding is. So to me, unfolding is really about permission to take the next step without knowing all the things that will happen next. All I have in my mind is the vision, the end result. What is it that I truly want? The feelings in my body of what that represents. So if it's a beach house, then like, what is the feeling in my body that that represents? That's what I hold. I hold that in my mind. There's a tension. I don't have the beach house here, right here in this moment.
Mhm.
So I look at like, what are my patterns in this moment? Again, this is all discussed in great detail, and you have a workbook that accompanies it and everything in Impact with Clarity. If you want to learn it, you can actually learn this for yourself. And then in that creative tension, something will occur to me to do, to be, to say, to deal with, to become aware of, whatever that thing is. Then I will move forward and do it, because then I can be in that space and look around and be like, okay, now what has shifted? What's available here that wasn't available when I was standing at the start line? Aid
Yeah.
Station 1 has treasures for you. You're not there
Oh, I
yet,
love
but it
that.
has treasures for you.
Yeah.
There's something
It's so
yummy at Aid
true.
Station 1.
I love that. I love how you mapped out the journey so clearly and how both energies are completely welcome. And that really sitting in that unfolding is really it's the secret. It's the secret to being able to hold those two together. So I actually have an offering or a question for you all out there. I'm so curious, what does the word unfolding mean for you? And I want you to tell us in the comments, because what it means to you is going to deeply inform how you hold those two energies together. So, what is your relationship with unfolding? And there is no judgment whatsoever. Like, where are you right now with the word unfolding? Allow that to unfold. So, tell us in the comments. We really want to hear. This has been
I
so fun,
love that.
Gita.
This has
I
been
love
so
talking.
fun.
I love talking about how different we are, but how like that is exactly why we love each other and love
And
working with each
and why,
other.
my God, like our company would not be what it is if your energy wasn't in it. And like I just shudder to think how much less structure we would have. Pat is like you too, structure brain, right? And of course, my life partner is somebody who really is all about structure and planning. And of course, I'm attracted to that because that is the energy that I want. And of course, he's attracted to me because structure people
Yeah.
want more spontaneity. So that makes perfect
Yes.
sense that we're just kind of moving to the middle. And the more we absorb of the other energy, the richer our experience of life becomes. So that's super cool. I'm so curious about how I'm dying to read the comments.
I know, me too. Oh, this is so fun. And for all of you, let us know in the comments. And we're so glad that you joined us for just a little peek inside Impact with Influence.